Welcome inside Thompson Bowling Arena here in Rocky Top. The nation's #1 team in action once again, Tennessee. At 22-1, tangling with South Carolina in a rematch of two teams that squared off just 15 days ago. Well, great to have you courtside. What an atmosphere here at TBA. Mark Wise, Roy Philpott. And Tennessee's so impressive. It's been 82 days since their last loss. Their offense has been on fire, one of the best in the country.
So let me get this right. You play fast and you score a lot of points. You shoot the ball effectively. And you play with an unselfish mindset. Yeah, there's a lot to like on offense.
Vols have won 18 games in a row. Jordan Bone has led the charge. He leads the SEC in assists per game, Mark.
He has elite skills as that point guard. He has the ability to read the defense. He can finish in traffic and get to the rim and score with ease. But he also has great vision, the ability to find teammates, especially in the open floor. And lastly, all great elite point guards play with a high basketball IQ. You attract defenders, you find teammates, and Tennessee rolls on offense. But the guy that makes them go is Jordan Bone.
Everybody talks about Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield. Bone has been phenomenal as well. Gamecocks very competitive against UT back in Columbia late last month. Had a couple of opportunities to make it a one-possession game late in the second half. Couldn't do it. Tennessee ran away with it, and the opening tap controlled by the Vols. Schofield goes to work, baseline jumper, too strong. Silva the rebound, that's what he does best.
Carolina certainly as the road team here playing #1 needs to get off to a good start.
See the starting five. A.J. Lawson, the freshman, coming off a phenomenal performance in a comeback win against Arkansas this weekend. South Carolina 7-3 in the SEC after a slow start in non-conference play. In and out for Alexander. Well, you mentioned the slow start. You can't have that against a team as good as UT this year.
Absolutely not. I mean, you want to get off to a good start, and all it has to do with shot selection. There's just a giveaway by Campbell.
Monte Turner was stripped. UT Turner in that starting five for the 6th time this year. Battled a shoulder injury early in the season. And now that he's been inserted in that starting five, Tennessee's been even more efficient.
It's like Turner has found his groove as a starter, and Bowden has found his groove off the bench.
It's interesting. You could really interchange Bone, Turner, and Bowden and really not notice a difference or a drop-off in production. Lawson lost the handle. Here comes Schofield. Missed the chippy. Alexander's there to clean it up.
Young players, that's why you never assume your teammate's going to make a shot. Credit Alexander with following up on the play.
Keyshawn Bryant, the fadeaway, well short. Turner from downtown. And Silva his second rebound. 2 minutes in, only 2 points on the scoreboard. Lawson will change that from the corner.
Coming off that outstanding game against Arkansas where he made 4 of 5 from distance.
He really has been an offensive spark plug for Frank Martin this year. Alexander inside. Strong finish. He's got 4.
I think it's always important that Tennessee finds Alexander just to remind the other teams, hey, he can be a threat here.
Off the legs of Lawson. Out of bounds back to UT.
I talked about A.J. Lawson in the last game against Arkansas. Went for 24 points, but he was so efficient because he made 8 of 12 shots, was 4 of 5 from bonus land, 4 of 5 at the line. Oh, yeah, he had 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, he was sensational as really South Carolina turned that game against Arkansas around in the second half, shooting 61%.
It's a 40-15 run that erased a 13-point deficit. Bone launches and connects.
Tennessee is so good at the two-point shot. Who said the mid-range game is dead?
A lot of people, actually, but with UT, it's not. Inside, make it 6-5. Well, if Silva gets going, that's a really good sign for Carolina. Williams has that shot in the arsenal. Off the glass, the running hook.
My goodness. Left-handed sweeper off the window. That's big time.
Third member of our crew, Alyssa Lane, caught up with Grant Williams earlier today. We chatted with him for an extensive amount of time. We asked him, did you watch the Duke game last night? Second-ranked team in the country. He said, yeah.
He's a hoop junkie.
He's a hoop junkie like we are. I think he would take that matchup in the dance if it comes down to it, and a lot of people think it could.
Well, that would mean only one thing most likely, because most likely they're going to be on opposite ends of the bracket.
You would think so. Both projected as #1 seeds right now. 4 to shoot. A dump off to Alexander. And Silva, another rebound. Lawson, the runner. Bryant on the offensive glass, and the putback. Nice job by the freshman.
I am so impressed with Keyshawn Bryant, his maturity. To watch him grow this season, he's just got a knack for the ball. He's always around the ball.
You go back to his performance against Florida. Started last month, had 3 big baskets in crunch time. Carolina erased a 14-point deficit. I think Bryant has taken a number of steps since then. Inside, a turnover and a rare mistake by Turner.
These are the kind of plays where Carolina must convert on the other end.
And on cue, Lawson does exactly that. He's got 6.
You must take advantage when Tennessee makes a miscue. You must take advantage.
South Carolina out in front, 10-8. 5 minutes in, a good start for the Gamecocks on the road. Turner inside, a nice finish.
He looks like a different player than when you and I saw him in late November.
Really does. Inside. And Kotsar connects. Kotsar's had his moments this year for South Carolina, Mark.
Well, he had 25 in that big win against Mississippi State, but he hasn't been double figures since that game.
Still waiting the under-16 media timeouts. Williams against Kotsar. That's a nice matchup in the forearm by Kotsar. That'll be his first personal. Well, on the other side, we'll hear from Alyssa Lane. Rick Barnes looking on. His team trails by 2. 6 minutes in.
When my occasional constipation is under control, I can get back to what really matters.
Dulcolax provides dependable, effective relief. Dulcolax tablets for overnight relief, suppositories for relief in minutes, and stool softener for comfortable relief. Dulcolax puts you comfortably in control.
This Valentine's Day at Belk, share the sparkles. Share the snuggle. Share the ooh la la. Share the love with head over heels gifts from Belk.
Bring your friends, bring your family, and bring on the flavor. Try Zaxby's Boneless Wings Meal, tossed in our new Caribbean jerk sauce. Or customize your meal with any of our other 9 delicious sauces. Zaxby's.
You work hard to build a better life and a better world. Now you can do both. By ditching your big bank and switching to Aspiration. Aspiration helps you spend and save with a conscience. And Aspiration trusts you to pay only the fee you think we deserve, even if it's 0. So use any ATM in the world for free. Switch at aspiration.com. Save money, save the planet.
This Valentine's Day at Belk, share the sparkles. Save on bonus buys with 70% off Belk Silverworks jewelry. And women's dresses, $49.99. Belk, share the love.
You know, being #1, it's a big accomplishment. You know, it's really cool. You know, the kid inside of you can say, you know, I play on the best team currently in the country.
is something that I'm proud of our guys for achieving this, because they are the ones that have built it.
At the end of the day, we do have that number one beside our name, but we're still chasing something. We're still hungry, and we still have to fight.
Tennessee #1 in the land, Big Orange trailing by 2 back at Knoxville with Mark Wise, Roy Philpott, now joined by Alyssa Lang. Alyssa.
Guys, this game has all the ingredients of a potential trap game for Tennessee. A lot of people focusing on that Tennessee-Kentucky matchup coming to us this Saturday. Not a lot of people talking about this South Carolina game. Grant Williams, though, he says his guys are absolutely locked in. They remember the kind of tough physical basketball that Frank Martin's Gamecocks played last time out. They're expecting the same exact thing tonight. On the other side of the ball, Chris Silva says they're approaching this game with a very specific mindset. They're channeling that energy that they brought into the Final Four just a couple of years ago with the mentality of, we have nothing to lose. They really think that if they play their game, they can beat the #1 team in the country tonight.
And on cue, Silva rejected the attempted alley-oop, and that was nasty. Well, you wonder if that was a statement or a message being delivered by number 30 in Garnett. And a lot of people are, to Alyssa's point, talking about that UK matchup this weekend. The Sonic blockbuster over in Lexington, Kentucky.
Look at that.
I would agree that this has the potential to be a trap game.
I agree with you, but as we talked about earlier, when you have an older team and they understand shot selection, usually if you're involved in a trap game, I think your offense goes south, and that usually relates to your shot selection. But this team is so good at understanding where the shots come from, whether we're talking about the transition or the half court. And a lot of that is due to the guy at the free throw line.
Foul went against Hasse, that's his first, and Bone 81% at the line this year. Kotsar now will replace Keyshawn Bryant.
So Carolina can go at you pretty big, and we're going to see, Frank Martin talked about this, we're going to see Kotsar play some at the 3 so that they can match up better with Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams at times.
Easier said than done, but I'm with you. Sonny Gravett checking in for the first time. 2 in Garnett for South Carolina. He has been a sharpshooter off of Frank Martin's bench. 40% from bonus land. Now Tennessee will mix up three-quarter court pressure back into their man-to-man. And a foul inside.
Yeah, that's an automatic call now. You put your hands on the guy with the ball. That's a no-no.
Frank Martin, year number 7. Went to the Final Four 2 seasons ago. I think he's curious to see how his team responds after the loss to Tennessee 15 days ago in Columbia. Gamecocks struggled in non-conference play at 5 and 7. 8 seconds to shoot here. Since then, they've been a different team. Gravett left open. And he's going to make you pay more times than not. This senior has dedicated himself to shooting and film study, and it's paying off this year.
Every step for Hassani Gravett has gotten better and better each of his 3 years at Carolina.
Turner left open. And the response, tied at 15.
Little dribble handoff to create confusion defensively.
Third tie in the first 7.5 minutes. Gravett, nice backdoor cut. Bowden attacking. Somehow saved and a fresh 30. And an open look for 3. Count the basket. Jalen Johnson. And a chance for 4.
Jalen Johnson doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he's very effective. 7 for 14 on the year. The closeout by Kotsar was at the wrong angle, and Johnson is going to go to the line for that rare and 1 for a 4-point opportunity.
Johnson, sophomore out of Durham, North Carolina. Only made 10 field goals this season prior to that 3-pointer. 7 of those were triples. Make it 8, and now the free throw in the 4-point play. Falls down the Mets mark of a 9-3 run, their largest lead at 4.
And there are going to be several key moments for South Carolina as a road team that they have to survive. They're in one right now.
Frank turns it over, but gets it back. And a foul. I believe that'll be on John Fulkerson, his first.
I don't know that you're going to be able to drive as a big from 20 feet out against the quickness of Tennessee. Their ability defensively to close gaps, very impressive because they have great team speed. The quick hands, the reach in by Schofield creates the scrum.
What do you make of the Gamecocks? 5-7 in non-conference play, 7-3 in league play.
Started winning the battle at the arc. That was the biggest difference in their non-conference to conference play. Started defending the bonus land better and started making 3 balls better.
It's almost like you know what you're talking about as Campbell converts back to a 1-point game. I love when I set the professor up and he just delivers time after time. Professor Mark Wise, a former coach. Dropping knowledge. Backdoor cut, Turner. How about the unselfish ball movement here of UT inside, and Turner another basket. He's got 7.
You always cringe when Turner takes a hard fall, having those shoulder issues.
And missed a lot of time in November and December.
How about the pace of play here in the first 9 minutes?
And both teams have made their last 5 field goals. Campbell, little shake and basket rejected by Fulkerson. 9 minutes in, the nation's #1 team, Tennessee, out in front of South Carolina by 3.
The top team in the land invades Big Blue Nation.
Hold up, let me get up in
Tennessee aims to deliver a statement, but number 5 Kentucky looks to defend rough. It's a top 5 showdown. Tennessee, Kentucky, Saturday 8 on ESPN.
In 1967, Lester McLean became the first black football player at the University of Tennessee. At wide receiver, McLean earned a varsity letter at UT, reeling in 70 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. In 2016, McLean was inducted to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame and the Tennessee Athletics Hall of Fame. SEC Network honors McLean for his impact on football and the University of Tennessee.
Unisom knows when you don't get enough sleep, it's hard to avoid the fog. Even the simplest things seem tough. Unisom is specially formulated to give you a good night's sleep, so you're ready to take on your day with Unisom, the sleep expert.
Fact is, Americans move more than anyone else in the world. On average, we'll live in 11 homes.
Hey, let me help.
And every time we move, things change.
Guys, help your mom out.
Apartments become houses. Cars become minivans.
Mom, it's only an hour away.
As we upgrade and downsize. An Allstate agent will do the same for our protection. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Allergy sufferers, your senses of smell, hearing, and taste are being censored, dulled by allergy congestion. Regain your senses with Nasacort. It's more effective than antihistamines on your worst nasal symptoms, including congestion. Nasacort. Live uncensored.
Can you take Auburn back with you? Come on, come on. We need him. I want you to take Auburn back. You doing good, brother? Yeah. How you doing? Y'all ready to get loud? Yes. Oh, yeah. I promise you, the first play they get, they're going to put the ball inside. There's no doubt they're going to try to go inside and get a post touch. All right, we got to work the game, but you guys got to be ready.
And just like Rick Barnes said, Carolina did try to go inside on their first possession, but the balls were equal to the task.
Kyle Alexander, second in Tennessee history in blocks at 165 coming into this game tonight. Meanwhile, Rick Barnes, thank him for being wired this evening. He's always fun to talk to, a great storyteller in our pregame conversations. And his track record goes back decades now. He's been successful everywhere.
Hasn't he become like the coaching sage right now? I mean, he's like the Pied Piper of coaching.
I think so, because his team is so good. Bone fouled by Gravett. And Jordan Bone in some pain, grabbing that left wrist. veteran officiating crew may have a second look at that. Terry Oglesby, Don Daly, Byron Jarrett.
Jordan Bone so quick in transition. Gets airborne. Rapid challenges. I just think that's a dangerous play. I think that's excessive. This is going to be flagrant 1.
Well, 2 shots in the basketball for Tennessee. I would tend to agree with you. That was an aggressive foul by Gravett.
Once a player gets airborne, you've got to leave him alone. I get it. Gravett's making a hard foul. Old school play. So again, Gravett is behind the play, but he times his jump. Now that's important that he times his jump the same time as Bone as he gets airborne.
It didn't look quite as bad from that angle.
From that angle. This angle, it looks really bad. I still think once that player, he's ahead on the play, I think it's excessive. I'm thinking it's going to be a flagrant 1.
A critical moment early in this when 9 minutes in, a 1-possession game.
But I'm batting about 500 in February.
And you like to throw it in my lap and put me in the spotlight.
Yes.
I agree with you. I think that's a flagrant 1.
Remember, this is a collaborative effort.
Correct. And Don Daly will come and give us the intel.
Hey guys, I was watching Jordan Bone just now in that timeout while the refs reviewed that last play, and he seems to be okay. One of the coaches came over and started rubbing his wrist out. He did return back out there, and he gave coaches a thumbs up.
Thank you, Alyssa. And that was deemed excessive and flagrant 1 against Hassani Gravett. So 2 shots and the basketball for UT, Mark.
I think it was the right call. I love the fact that Bone, after he made the free throw, pretended that there were guys on the line. He wanted getting 5s from them. That was really funny.
But let's
see if he does it again, if he makes the second one. Watch this.
That's your theory. That
Watch this.
It's kind of harder. It's harder to make free throws when nobody's there.
No question.
It's weird.
It's different. It's out of the norm. Watch this. Jordan Bone, 81% at the line. Hey, thanks, guys.
Grant.
Appreciate it.
AD, we appreciate you.
That's classic.
It is. But I think we appreciate it because you clued me on this about 3 months ago. The technical foul is so awkward because you're used to having your teammates or the opposition there in the painted area trying to rebound a potential miss. And for the technical foul, you don't have that. So it feels a little different.
Free throws are all about repetition and confidence. And when nobody is at the free throw line, like a technical foul is being administered, that changes the repetition part.
Tennessee back to work. Fast start for Jordan Bone. He's got 6. Turner has 7. Schofield triple team. Turns it over. And Keyshawn Bryant. 23-18. The Vols out in front of South Carolina.
Seems like a simple thing or a little thing, but Jordan Bone there didn't have numbers, evaluated in transition, waited for his teammates to get back to full strength.
Schofield had that shot rejected by Bryant. The freshman against senior, and Bryant up to the challenge. Halfway through the first half, the Vols have won 18 in a row coming into tonight. And Turner now controls off the Silva miss.
What a matchup, though. Silva and Grant Williams going head-to-head.
We could be talking about 2 guys that have extended careers playing pro ball when they're done at their respective schools.
Well, that's a shot Grant Williams has got to take, especially if he wants to play at the next level.
Are you buying him as a draftable commodity? Sit on that for a moment. Don't forget, coming up as soon as we're done here, Rocky Top will take you down to Auburn Arena. Ole Miss will square off against Bryce Brown and the Auburn Tigers. Right here on the SEC Network, also on the ESPN app. 8:30, the expected tip.
To answer your question, a winning franchise at the next level late in the first round, I think he's a no-brainer.
He's a winner.
That guy's a winner.
Right. I mean, we talked with him today, and he's just so knowledgeable about the game, about where he fits in Tennessee lore, about what this program needs to do to go to the Final Four for the first time, and gets the bigger picture. To be as young as he is, very impressive.
And has a $1 million smile.
Yes, he does, and he's always smiling with it. We think he's going to be the SEC Player of the Year. Gravity short on the triple. Williams controls the rebound.
Good execution by Carolina in the half court there. Wide open. How about that?
25-18. The lead increases to 7. Haase left open.
Now, if those quick threes don't go in, you're asking for trouble.
Williams took a shot in the mouth, slow to get back to the other end. Well, clearly maybe something with the teeth. It's always painful. You take an elbow right in the chops like that, Mark Weiss.
No question about it. Of course, remember Yves Pons got hurt, had surgery with a facial fracture and had surgery, but is suited up tonight.
Barnes told us he expects him to play. That injury occurred back on February 7th. Inside out, Bowden left open, top of the key. First basket for 23 and white, Jordan Bowden, and Frank Martin has seen it up.
Again, it is that point guard play, understanding when is the right time to make the extra pass. A drive by Turner, fed Bone in the corner, but he made the right play and the right read. This is earlier with Bone. How about this feed? That's just great vision, isn't it? That's understanding. That's understanding like a quarterback, understanding the tight end won't be open early, but he'll be open later.
You talking football right now?
A little drag pattern.
Oh, these fans understand that here in Knoxville, my friend. Well played. Now, Grant Williams exiting the playing surface moments ago, and I think he just took a little forearm, the accidental variety, from Chris Silva.
That just looked painful, didn't it?
By the way, I think that's like your 17th football reference this season. Props to you. Largest lead for UT at 10. It's a 9-0 run for the Vols.
Got to get the ball to Silva.
A lot of dribbling by Gravett. Blocked by Alexander. It's what he does best.
The great length of Alexander, the shot blocker.
Second block of the game for Alexander, 167 now in his career. Turner, an opening. Alexander. Grant Williams being tended to on the bench appears to be okay. That's a good sign. Silva. Good defense by Kyle Alexander.
Yeah, and created space so he could operate defensively. So many big guys don't understand that.
Schofield from downtown, his first points of the night.
And the assists for Bone just continue to rack up.
He's got 3 dimes so far. South Carolina's missed its last 8 field goals. This is one of those droughts you can ill afford to have a chance to spring the upset.
You can't make a one-handed hope pass on the road against the #1 team in the country.
Williams appears to be okay.
Giving everybody the thumbs up. That's good news for Vol fans.
That's what South Carolina basketball is all about.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. Georgia versus number 11 South Carolina at 7. Presented by Regions Bank. At 9, Missouri versus number 5 Mississippi State. Thursday on the SEC Network.
Someday, as a motorcyclist, you might need your day in court. You need to know, if you contact us, you won't be standing alone. I've been riding bikes for 30 years, and as a lawyer, I understand fully the laws to protect your rights. So when you see me, you'll see one of your own, standing up for you, fighting vigorously for your rights. Because remember, I may not look like a lawyer, but then again, I don't have to. Come see us at Whitfield, Bryson, and Mason.
If you're facing a criminal charge, you're up against an army. My goals are to help a person in need and to let them know that there's somebody for them, that it's not hopeless, that there's a way out. Regardless how desperate the situation is, there's always solutions to every problem. You know, there's always hope.
If you've been charged with a crime, call Rob McKinney now.
Lamont Turner has certainly played well as of late. He's continuing that good play here tonight at home. Creative off the bounce, finishing in traffic amongst the bigs. But yeah, he can step out and knock down the 3-ball as well. And we were here in November when Lamont Turner was going through some shoulder issues.
He's only played in 14 games this year to that point. But you mentioned how he's emerging lately now that he's healthy. Last 9 games, shooting 56% from the floor, 48 from 3, and those 7 points tonight have really ignited UT.
Well, league play alone, he's out over 11 points a game, so that's a good sign. And I know this, if you want to, everybody wants to ask, well, can Tennessee make the Final Four? I don't think of it that way. I think of it as, can Tennessee make a deep run? So here's what I think. In order to make a deep run, I think you have to have these 3 things. Number 1 is you have to have pro talent. That doesn't necessarily mean NBA. It certainly helps. But you've got to have pro talent. Number 2 is you've got to be healthy. So Tennessee getting Turner back is a good sign. For instance, Gonzaga now has to play with Tilly out of the lineup. Azubuike out at Kansas. They have to deal with that. And then the third thing, and this is the one that you don't have any control over, somewhere along the way in the tournament, the basketball gods have got a smile on you.
You need a bounce.
You need a break.
Inside, Bowden missed the jam. Alexander will not. He's got 8 points for Tennessee. And the lead grows to 15.
And Carolina's got to be careful. They've got to slow the tempo of the game down a little bit.
It's now a 21-3 run over the last 6+ minutes in favor of the Vols.
Guys, Grant Williams still sitting on the bench here, but I did watch him go over to the trainers after he took that shot to the mouth. He was chewing on some ice. They put some Vaseline on his lip. It looked like he might have been bleeding a little bit, but he did give the thumbs up to the trainer, and he said it stopped. So I would expect to see him back in here soon.
After the 3 by Gravitt, thank you, Alyssa. On the other end, another hard foul. Alexander hit the hardwood.
This is the alley-oop on the transition play. Bowden misses, but Alexander cleans it up. What a pass, though. Maybe just a tad short. But Carolina finally makes a shot. Gravitt makes that 3-ball, and all of a sudden, Bones got both feet in the paint on the other end.
How does that
instantly
happen? Yeah. Williams back on the floor. 6 minutes to go in our first half. Outside of Bowden. Wide open. Count it.
You want to know why this team averages more than 19 assists a game? That kind of play. Unselfish, and it's contagious.
Only loss for the Vols this year against Kansas. More than 2 months ago. Frink inside, can't connect. Lost the handle. Here comes Bone.
I thought Pons got away with putting his hand up through the rim on the other end.
Look at that look by Jordan Bone. Vols feeling it. This game was tied at 15 just a few minutes ago, and Bryant connects baseline.
Bryant can take and make tough shots.
Bowden left open. From the wing, it's all net.
Feeling it. Vols are feeling it.
Tennessee, a blistering 6 of 7 from downtown. Silva shows some range on the other end.
Hope you like your offensive hoops tonight.
I'm more of an offensive guy myself.
Oh, you know where I am.
Well, you're a former coach, so I know, sometimes you like it when they start pounding the floor and get down to the low defensive stance.
No way. Ask coaches, what do you have to do to win? We got to defend and rebound, defend and rebound. No, you don't. Stop it. You got to make shots.
Bryant with the board. Grab it, the pump fake. Frink tied up by Williams.
Frink wasn't ready to be a receiver. He had his hands down by his hips.
Now, don't forget, tomorrow night we'll have a Valentine's Day women's college hoop doubleheader. Number 11, South Carolina hosts Georgia. That's up first at 7 o'clock Eastern. In Missouri, led by Sophie Cunningham, travels to Starkville to take on 5th-ranked Mississippi State. And Tierra McCowan, Dick Schaefer, as the Bulldogs rolling once again. Both games right here on the SEC Network and also on the ESPN app.
And Alyssa and the ladies kick that doubleheader off.
That's right.
Every Thursday night.
That's right. We talked to her about the new show. That was a lot of fun finding out some details about that today, Alyssa, right?
If you're not watching Ladies Night on Thursday nights on the SEC Network, I really don't know what you're doing. But even though it is not quite Ladies Night anymore because Andy Landers is on the desk with us, but that's okay. We like him.
We do love some Coach Landers.
Yeah, we do like Andy Landers, no doubt.
A very important 4 minutes here at the end of the first half for South Carolina. Grab it. He can get hot in a hurry. That's what he does best. 9 points off the Carolina bench.
And in conference play, his three-point shooting has even gotten better. 44% from bonus land.
Gamecocks have been the comeback kids this year in the league. Bowden comes up short. Silva. Good interior defense by the Vols, 14 to shoot.
Tennessee finding their groove offensively and sharing the rock as well. Up 12 here at home.
When you find the perfect house, it's like this whole new life flashes before your eyes. We get it. The right mortgage makes a million little things possible. So we make it easy to apply on your phone for a Regions mortgage in about 7 minutes. About the time it takes to whip up homemade guacamole for your housewarming party. Apply on your phone in minutes.
Hey, who are you? Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief. What? I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job. What? 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 What?
It happens.
And you got cut rate car insurance? Paying for this could feel like getting robbed twice. Get Allstate. I'd be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
What is up? We'll see you at halftime. Dari, Jimmy, Pat. You saw Duke last night.
Yes, I did.
You were there. I want to know who's better, Tennessee or Duke. Don't tell us now. Tell us at halftime. All right? We'll also get you ready for Auburn and Ole Miss. Give me your first half take so far. It's like Bradley's out there shooting.
Not a lot of defense, you mean. It's not like I'm not playing defense.
That's what I meant. That's exactly what I meant. See you at halftime.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Number 1, Tennessee, leading South Carolina, 41-29. Rick Barnes is wired this evening.
I want you to rebound. All I want you to do is rebound. Come on, let's get stops. And again, we got to get back. We can't let them keep bringing us up in transition. We got to get on the boards, guys, both ends. Now, you know what the game plan? Every time you get the ball, they're attacking you. You can't spin on it. You got to come off ready to shoot it.
Rick Barnes, year number 4. His team co-regular season champs a year ago and picked second in the preseason poll back in last summer.
That last exchange with Admiral Schofield, I think, is really important and kind of shows this maturity of the team and Rick Barnes knowing his personnel, because most of the time you leave seniors alone. But I think he wanted to coach his guy in that particular situation.
It's interesting you say that, because I asked Grant Williams today, what's the best thing about playing basketball for Rick Barnes as he picks up the foul? He said the tough love, man. Right. The tough love, Philpott. It's what he does. He's not going to sugarcoat anything, and that makes me better. Silva at the strike. I'm going to throw this at you, and I want your real-time response. South Carolina in this game, 7 of 10 from
yes.
three-point range, and look at the score.
And they're down 12.
What does that mean?
That means the other team's really good.
I set you up, you knock about.
Well, here's the 2-2-1 I thought we would see earlier. South Carolina worked on this on shoot-around a little bit today.
And the concept here?
Slow the game down, get the ball out of Bones' hands, even though he's not on the floor right now, and then they drop back into this 2-3 zone. I love this because it just is something different.
Schofield with 10 to shoot. He's been bottled up in the first half. Williams, the runner, again off the glass.
That is so impressive.
Grab it, the response.
How about Carolina with the quick turnaround after the score?
Gamecocks need to find a way to create a couple of stops here at the end of the half.
Give me the offense. Forget all that stop talk.
Ball movement again. And Lawson controls the rebound.
They're just fun to watch.
They are. They
play
remind me
the right way.
It's San Antonio Spurs-esque, if you will, with the ball movement at times. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That guy's making the extra pass all the time, not just once in a while.
Carolina trying to make this single-digit game. Grab it. Nice dish inside. Hasse rejected by Williams.
The offense was really good in that possession. The defense was better.
Rear rejection number 142 for big Grant Williams. It ties for 5th all-time in UT history. Fulkerson inside. How about some dime dropping by number 2?
That is just so fun to watch. Get the ball against the weak spot of the zone. Kind of a wild shot by Campbell, but he stays with it.
Campbell has 5.
If you score against Tennessee, you better not get in a scoring trot going back.
I'm going to make you pay. Williams has done that a lot this year. He does it again. He's got 6. On the other end, Lawson left over. And the rebound claimed by Fulkerson. Tennessee will slow it down for his second. And Rick Barnes still coaching him up.
Well, coaches talk about defense first, so why not show you a little defense first? Tennessee, Grant Williams, rim protection with the block, but this offensive execution against the 2-3, the high-low. Williams to Fulkerson for the easy schwackums.
How about Rick Barnes unhappy with his team?
Livid.
In that last sequence?
Yeah.
They're leading by 13.
They said, what are you doing? I don't think he's real happy with what they're doing defensively in terms of rotation. Carolina's looks offensively, they're getting whatever they want.
Well, right now we'll take a look at who's taking the next step, brought to you by Regions Bank. And wouldn't you know it, all for one, UT.
This almost didn't go in.
That would have been a bad omen.
That would have been a bad omen.
So that new tradition developed this year by Tennessee, and a lot of teams around the country have emulated the Vols, and Admiral Schofield really got it started about 45 days ago, and the first video where they all jump up in unison as he comes in with a windmill jam. I think it had like 2 million views as of last check. I mean, it went viral in every sense of the word. But it's awesome to watch in person if you get the chance. Schofield off the bounce, silky smooth.
Yeah, they can score, come at you in so many different ways. We have Tennessee one more time. I'm thinking you, Alyssa, and I need to get out in that one time. That dunk clock. I'll be out on the perimeter.
Where am I going to be? Campbell connects. He's got 7.
Campbell was really good when these two teams played the first time.
Yeah.
He had 14.
Shot clock is off. An impressive start for the nation's #1 team.
Carolina has fouls to give.
Three seconds left. Bone, a desperation heave. And South Carolina finding a way to survive these first 20 minutes. Gamecocks will trail it by 13 here at the break. Fast start for Tennessee offensively. We started the show with some of the metrics. And impressive once again, 6 of 11 from downtown, 53% from the floor in this first half. Capacity crowd on hand to watch their Volunteers. And Rick Barnes will head to the locker room. 49-36 our score. The halftime report coming up right now as we send you back to the studio.
All right, guys, thank you much. And it's good to be with you, Dory Noka, alongside our very own version of PB and J. PB and J. I can't take credit for that one bit.
Crunchy, not smooth.
That's how they text each other. It's awfully nice. 49-36 Tennessee right now. There was a play in this game, about 10:52 mark, I think is when it was. Hassani Gravett goes up to defend a Jordan Bone play and ends up kind of thigh on thigh, and Bone goes down. What do you think when you see that?
Well, initially, you know, when you're playing in someone's arena, you want to bring that physicality. You don't want to back down. It's the #1 team in the country. You want to impose your will. We understand that. But I do think that as a basketball player, you understand in that type of a situation, if you got a legit shot to go up and block the shot, affect the shot, and when you don't, and you know the result of it all too well. We've seen it, guys, come down crashing hard. So there's a fine line there between trying to make that play on the ball and knowing if you don't have a chance, but still maintaining that pride that you're going that you're going to show the coach you're going to compete.
Yeah, they made the right call. That's an F1. I think at the end of this year, the coaches' voices are going to be heard about these type of plays. I think the penalty has to become even stiffer because you've got guys in a vulnerable position going full speed when they leave and they're airborne in a vulnerable position to get contact like that. I think this rule's continued not to go forward in terms of enforcing the rule.
After watching Tennessee for 20 minutes tonight, you've seen them all year.
Yes.
You had the privilege of calling Louisville and Duke last night in an unbelievable come-from-behind win for Duke. Tennessee or Duke, who's better?
Yeah, on a neutral floor, 10-game series, it's 5-5. They're the best two teams in Virginia. It's right there nipping at their heels, Dari. What I like about Tennessee defensively tonight, they're terrific. They're holding South Carolina to 29% from the two-point part of the floor. I will say this after seeing Zion Williamson in person. You better have a stud with some quickness to defend this guy, and Tennessee has it. They do. Schofield and Grant Williams, they have two guys that could hold their own with Zion Williamson, so it's the war starts there.
Yeah.
Those two teams right now are better than anybody else in college ball.
I like this debate, though.
And then they make a couple shots, the Dukies, huh? Forget about
Oh, my goodness. And to start defend the way that they did. But Tennessee will defend that way as well.
Absolutely.
All right, these three, by the way, all part of the Naismith Trophy's top 30 mid-season candidates for Player of the Year. Schofield and Williams both. And then for Kentucky, Pat Bradley, P.J. Washington getting some deep respect.
Let me tell you something. Last night, when P.J. Washington, in that late second half, after Kentucky was struggling to score, they finally got him the ball in that left block where he likes to go over his right hand, and we saw him even there again use his left hand. He faced up at the free throw line where he's deadly. He's been making his three-point shot. He's become a legit offensive weapon for them. Throw it into him. If the double team comes, we saw him last night pass out of the double team. He got Reed Travis a dunk. So it's nice to see anytime a coach can have a guy on the team, I'm going to dial something up for you. We're going to get something good. We can depend on you to get something good for our offense when things maybe are getting a little stagnant or you need an important play coming out of a timeout.
PJ probably played his way onto that list in the last couple of weeks, honestly. He's become a monster.
Any SEC player you'd like to have seen on that list?
I would say Tremont Waters is worthy of being one of those guys right now in terms of what he's doing for a team that's rising up the ranks right now with a huge win last night. You cannot keep this kid from getting where he wants to go with a basketball, and he's learning how to play with talented players around him. He is just terrific. He's always playing below your waist. You're not going to take the ball from him. And in terms of a sticky defender and a guy that's going to get his 3 or 4 steals a game, Tremont Waters is obviously one of the top 30 players in the country for me.
There you go. All right, we'll get into this a little bit more later tonight on SEC Now. We've got another game and get there eventually for a full 30-minute breakdown of that and what we're watching in the SEC on this night. 3 games in all. This is the only one going right now. Jordan Bowden's got 9. Tennessee shooting 53%. And the lead is 13.
Who knew cupcakes could be so painful?
But the smell of pain cream isn't very appetizing.
So I use Aspercream. It's maximum strength relief that's 100% odor-free. So all my customers smell is delicious. Aspercream, no pain, no odor.
Doug! Douglas! We're running dangerously low on beans! People love your beans, Doug. They love them. You want to go sell some tacos?
Progressive knows small business makes big demands.
Doug, where do we get a replacement chili pepper bulb?
So we'll design the insurance solution that fits your business.
It's a very niche bulb. It's a specialty bulb.
Pain wants to stop you, block you. Like that's gonna happen. Icy hot. Icy to dull, hot to relax. Rise from pain. Icy hot.
It means sacrifice. And not just for my family and friends, but for everybody.
It's doing research that'll really help people.
Putting in the hours, pushing myself so I can be a better teammate.
Knowing that the work I do today isn't just for me.
Being a Tennessee volunteer means giving light to others, giving your all, and I love that I get to be a part of that.
Tired of lugging around big bags of pet food and litter? Get it delivered. Chewy.com delivers everything your pets need right to your door.
They ship all your favorite brands of dog food, cat food, litter, toys, and treats, all at amazing prices. Start saving today. Plus, you get fast, free shipping. With Chewy.com, you don't have to break a sweat or the bank.
Save 30% on your first order and get fast, free shipping. Shop online at Chewy.com.
Thinking about using a DNA test to learn where your family came from? Then use TeloYears. TeloYears is different. It has an advanced ancestry service with a better pie chart. But that's not all. TeloYears also tracks your cellular age. It's based on your telomeres, a unique part of the DNA that, unlike your ancestry, you can actually change. So you can take steps to improve your long-term health. Don't just take any DNA test. Get your Ancestry plus results you can really use to help keep your cells younger, longer. Learn more at teloyears.com.
Gary, Jimmy, and Shooter. The next game on our network tonight, Ole Miss and Auburn. These two teams played back on January 9th, guys. Ole Miss held Auburn to a season low in points and in field goal percentage. What are you looking for?
Well, Ole Miss's ball pressure in this first game really bothered Auburn. Think about that. Bothering Bryce
Ole
Brown
Miss's
and Harper.
ball pressure bothered Auburn.
Really bothered Auburn, and I heard Bruce talking about it yesterday. And but to me, Auburn has really improved since that first meeting. Ole Miss going to be tough for these guys on the road tonight, Pat.
From watching Ole Miss, if there's one place where they lack, it's on the inside. Austin Wiley, healthy Austin Wiley, could have a huge impact in this game. But, boy, there's going to be a lot of speed from that backcourt position tonight.
Ole Miss has won 11 of the last 13 games against Auburn. All right, our game getting closer to resuming at Thompson Bowling. Tennessee up on South Carolina, 49-36. Lamonte Turner for 7.
With new Gold Bond Men's 5-in-1 face lotion, you could do 5 great things for your face as fast as done.
New Gold Bond 5-in-1 face lotion. 5 essential benefits, including SPF 15 for a great-looking face. Man up with Gold Bond.
In the lotion aisle.
7:35 remaining. Tatum with the drive.
Gatorade studies the best athletes to create the most advanced range of sports fuel. Gatorade. You fuel us, we fuel you.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
You work hard to build a better life and a better world. Now you can do both. By ditching your big bank and switching to Aspiration. Aspiration helps you spend and save with a conscience. And Aspiration trusts you to pay only the fee you think we deserve, even if it's zero. So use any ATM in the world for free. Switch at aspiration.com. Save money, save the planet.
I'm happy to have my son still living at home, but I can't keep him on my car insurance. His last fender bender nearly killed my rates. It was time for him to get his own policy. I told him, try the General. They accept most cars and drivers, so he downloaded their free mobile app. 10 minutes later, he had his own car insurance with the right coverage at a great rate.
Bye, sweetie.
Let the General make life easier. Call 800-GENERAL or go to thegeneral.com.
Also coming up in just a little bit, 9 Eastern over on ESPNU, Florida taking on Vanderbilt. Oh, some teams that need some victories, guys. The Doors have dropped 11 in a row. Florida has dropped their last 3.
Yeah, Florida right now, they're in desperate need of every win, according to Joe Lunardi's bracket. And you know, defensively, Florida's really good. Offensively, sometimes not so much. And that's the struggle. It's a game that Florida can't lose. That's how you look at this.
Fair enough.
It's a good picture of us.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Going on the road, high percentage shots.
Look at Pat over there. It's like you and I are in deep in conversation. Yeah, he's like, look at me, people.
I'm looking for my lady.
I'm smiling.
I know she watches every broadcast.
Where you at, Janine? Where you at, Janine?
We announced it last week.
Big wedding coming.
Pat Bradley engaged. Hearts were broken. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Hearts have been broken.
Tennessee up 13. Final 20 minutes straight ahead. Enjoy it.
You don't think it'll happen to you, and you surely don't think it'll happen twice. I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado hit and destroyed everything again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
You make me feel like that.
The new Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and 4% on entertainment. Now when you go out, you cash in. What's in your wallet?
If you're facing a criminal charge, you're up against an army. My goals are to help a person in need and to let them know that there's somebody for them, that it's not hopeless, that there's a way out. Regardless how desperate the situation is, there's always solutions to every problem. You know, there's always hope.
If you've been charged with a crime, call Rob McKinney now.
If you've ever seen 2 motorcyclists traveling down the road, you might have seen them make this gesture.
This is a common thing that all bikers do, to let them know they're part of the family. They are in this community together. I'm also in the family. I've been riding bikes for over 30 years now, and as a lawyer, I understand the rights that go into protecting motorcyclists. If you find yourself in trouble in need of a lawyer, call me. Because I may not look like a lawyer, but I don't have to. And I won't back down in protecting your rights.
Back on Rocky Top, 49-36, the nation's #1 team leading South Carolina at home. With Mark Wise, Roy Philpott, now joined by Alyssa Lang, who caught up with Frank Martin moments ago.
Coach, there was plenty of offensive firepower from both sides in the first half. What do you want to see from your guys in the second?
Yeah, we got to be better defensively, and we got to, a couple of our guys just not playing at the same speed as Tennessee, so they break us down. We hit a bad stretch on offense. We missed some shots. Give them credit. They blocked some shots where we had point-blank layups.
What adjustments did you make at halftime to try to slow down their tempo?
No, they're good. There's not too many adjustments. We're going to play to the way we like to play. We had a game plan in place. We got to do a little better. They just made shots.
Thanks, Coach.
You always love hearing from Coach Frank Martin. He has a way of talking to everybody, including us. We love to catch up with him. So we take a look at our first half highlights, and UT, led by Lamonte Turner, gets the job done.
Unselfish play, whether you're talking about knocking down threes or driving to the rim and creating offense. They can score in so many different ways. Hassani Gravett for South Carolina kept the Gamecocks in it in the first half. He was 3 of 4 from bonus land. It's the 10th different time Gravett has made 3 or more threes in a game.
11 points off the bench, critical for Carolina. They finished 7 for 11 from downtown in those first 20 minutes. And again, UT's offense on point, one of the most electric units in the country.
Ken Palm has them as the #3 offensive efficiency team. And that's in large part because their 2-point percentage is 4th, their free throw percentage is 9th. The rate that they get assists from their baskets made is 3rd best in the country, behind only Michigan State and Oakland.
What did Frank Martin, right there. That was good.
What did Frank Martin say? Yeah, they're really good.
I mean, sometimes as a coach, it is that easy to explain it in that manner.
Right.
Last foul was on Silva, his first. The dump off Alexander, now in double figures.
How did Bone see him? Does he have eyes in the back of his head?
Bone with 4 assists. He leads the SEC at over 6 per game this year. Silva back to the basket. And that shot bothered by Alexander. Here come the Vols. The bounce, the pass. That's pretty.
Lamonte Turner could have easily finished that, but he made the extra pass. I'm telling you, it's contagious.
Skip pass, an open look, and the triple by Campbell. He's got 10.
Campbell's going to want to play Tennessee 4 or 5 times this year.
South Carolina 8 of 12 from behind the three-point arc, trailing by 14. Here's Campbell, feeling it. And Silva, the putback.
Well, that's what Silva will do. He will outwork you on the offensive glass.
Bone was stripped. Kotsar comes away with it.
Bone with a turnover. That's news in itself.
South Carolina doing its very best to hang around Keyshawn Bryant from the corner.
Great chase down by Schofield.
Lamonte Turner left open from downtown. UT now 7 of 12 from bonus land. Only loss for this volunteer program against Kansas. Game came in overtime. Feels like about 4 years ago. Since then, so dominant, an 18-game winning streak, longest in the country. Silva, Kotsar did his best to tap it in, and he did.
Back-to-back hoops for South Carolina, second chance opportunities.
Weird season for Carolina. The injuries, you mentioned the three-point shooting in the first half. Losses to Wofford and Stony Brook and not conference play before kind of figuring things out and gaining health. Monte Turner gets it back and we reset it. And Schofield makes him pay. He's got 9.
That's just smash mouth hoops.
Again, that almost felt like a football reference.
It's a bad gamble by Turner.
Lawson well short. Lead is 15, a danger zone for South Carolina. And the foul against Lawson here.
In transition, Tennessee is so good at finding the open man, but watch as Turner rolls this ball in his hands to find the seams. Perfect rotation, nothing but the bottom.
Poetry in motion, and it speaks to the confidence of this UT program this year. It's almost like everything's operating in slow motion for Rick Barnes.
Well, it's interesting you say that because one of my reference points has always been that great point guards see the game in slow motion.
Bone certainly does that. Fulkerson checking back in, 10 and white for Tennessee. Vols with a 15-point lead. Game was tied at 15, then a 21-3 run as Bowden dumps it off out of bounds. Created this current separation.
Miscommunication on offense between Bowden and Fulkerson. That's a rarity.
Where are the roadblocks potentially for Tennessee? The big game's coming up this weekend. It's on the road in Lexington. How concerned should you be if you're a fan of the Vols?
Well, again, you don't win in Rupp. It's not the end of the world. I mean, Kentucky is pretty good last time I checked.
Silva gets it back. I think Kentucky's one of the hottest teams in the country before last night's loss at home against LSU, as Campbell now has 13 and South Carolina trailing by 12.
I think it's more important, not necessarily the score, but how you play when you go to Rupp. So that's what Rick Barnes will be evaluating by. Well, you better have your hands up when Bone gets feet in the paint.
Timeout on the floor. UT lead is 12 here at home.
This Valentine's Day at Belk, share the sparkles, share the snuggle, share the ooh la la, share the love with head over heels gifts from Belk.
Fact is, Americans move more than anyone else in the world. On average, we'll live in 11 homes.
Hey, let me help.
And every time we move, things change.
Guys, help your mom out.
Apartments become houses. Cars become minivans.
Mom, it's only an hour away.
As we upgrade and downsize. An Allstate agent will do the same for our protection. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
You probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about banking. You're probably more focused on living for today and planning for tomorrow. That's why Regions puts you first. We know there's more to you than your checking account. You're dreaming about a vacation home, or season tickets for your team, or finally taking those paddleboarding lessons. With our people, our tech, and our tools, we make your life easier because we get it. Some things are bigger than banking.
This Valentine's Day at Belk, share the sparkles. Save on bonus buys with 70% off Belk Silverworks jewelry. And women's dresses, $49.99. Belk, share the love.
Back in Knoxville, as we take a look at tonight's Good Hands play brought to you by Allstate. The ball movement has been spectacular for the Vols this evening.
Unselfish play, making the extra pass. It happens all the time when you watch Tennessee play. And the best fast breaks are when the ball moves ahead in the air and not bouncing the ball against the floor so much.
Vols already dropping 15 times tonight, averaging 20 per contest, second in the country. They're sharing the basketball, they're in rhythm, they're in sync, and Rick Barnes is still all over his guys each and every possession. Well, coming up next, we'll take you out to Auburn Arena. Ole Miss, led by first-year head coach Kermit Davis, getting the job done down in Oxford. This game in Auburn, down on the Plains, 8:30 tip. Bryce Brown, Jared Harper really have things moving in the right direction for head coach Bruce Pearl. Right here on the SEC Network at 8:30, also on the ESPN app. And I would tell you right there, those are two NCAA tournament teams getting set to do battle when we're done here at Rocky Top.
That'll be fun to watch that battle in the backcourt.
Lissa Lang has been hanging out behind the bench. What did you hear?
Yeah, guys, I just heard you talk about how Rick Barnes was getting all over his guys in that last time out. He certainly was. One thing he's not happy about right now, rebounding. He does not want to see South Carolina coming down with any offensive rebounds, and he told his guys, if I don't see you jumping for that ball, you're coming out.
Well, the Vols do have an advantage on the glass, 23-19, after a couple of free throws by Fulkerson.
The great attention getter, the bench.
And we hear rebounds and turnovers from coaches, and we tend to frame that as coach speak. When he's talking to his team there, do you think it's that, or is he being serious and trying to grab his team's attention?
I think a little bit of both,
okay,
because you just cannot allow second chance opportunities.
Sure. I'm just thinking along the lines of he's still trying to push buttons, even in a game where maybe he feels like he's in control. There's no let up with his team this year from Rick Barnes' perspective.
Well, that's life at the top.
Right.
That's the way they have to play it every night now.
Kotsar inside, missed the layup.
I just love the way Williams and Schofield play with each other.
And Schofield has 11 points. I'm trying to remember all the baskets he's made.
I didn't even think he'd made one.
Right. Steal by Gravett. Gives it right back to Bowden. Contact but no whistle. And how about the physical play for number 2 in Garnett. And Lawson is fouled on the floor. Well, the crowd loved that call. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow night, Valentine's Day Women's College Basketball doubleheader. Gamecocks and Georgia from the CLA down in Columbia. That game will tip at 7 Eastern. Then Missouri travels to Stark Vegas to tangle with Mississippi State. And the Bulldogs, led by Tierra McCowan, both games right here on the SEC Network and also on the ESPN app. Have you seen Big T play in person, Mark Wise?
Not in person, no.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Double machine.
Maybe a little Brittany Griner-like with her
She's getting
unique
there.
length.
Yeah, 6'7". Vic Schaefer's got him rolling again in Starkville. They'll have a chance to go back to the Final Four and maybe a little bit more. Bryant. Physical drive. Will shoot a pair.
That did not look like the drive of a freshman. Keyshawn Bryant just said, I'm going to take it to the rim, see if you can defend me. We had Carolina earlier in the season, and Frank Martin said when we asked him who's been your most pleasant surprise, he didn't hesitate. Keyshawn Bryant.
Well, to your point, he doesn't look or play like a first-year guy.
Right. Does he make mistakes like freshmen? Sure. This is the one area that has to get better for Bryant, though, just 53% on the year.
Guys, I talked to Chris Silva before the game just about their up and down season, and it seemed like at one point they finally started to get in the flow of things, and he credited the freshmen to finally kind of getting a feel for playing college basketball as far as minutes, their style of play. And Silva said play of the freshmen is really what has impacted the Gamecock season.
Schofield launches. Bowden skied for the rebound and somehow grabbed it. But to Alyssa's point, I'd go back to that win at Florida where Bryant had those 3 huge baskets late in the comeback. Carolina trailed by 14 before stealing one. Bowden in traffic connects.
Doesn't it seem like you'll go a 2 or 3 minute stretch and it's Schofield? You go a 2 or 3 minute stretch later and it's Bowden, and then it's Williams. I think they just have so many weapons offensively.
Volunteers come at you in waves. Williams. And the rebound corralled by Kotsar.
I've said all season long, I think Williams and Schofield are the best older combo inside out in the country.
And Williams right now would get our vote for Player of the Year in the SEC, correct?
Yes.
He won it, of course, last year to be the first player since Corliss Williamson to claim that award back-to-back seasons, as Silva now has a double-double with 10 and 10. Bowden left open. Oh! Jones at home. And the crowd comes to life at Thompson Bowling Arena.
Fulkerson just plays his role, doesn't he? Be the energy guy, the effort guy.
And an offensive foul. Second on Silva. And Frank Martin upset with the officiating.
Take a look at that finish by Fulkerson. Times his jump. Pretty impressive.
And Tennessee going about its business, leading by 17, doing what it does best, just methodically putting opponents away.
Well, you and I have agreed on this. I think Tennessee, more than any other team in the country, is built to win different tempos. They can win in the 60s, they can win in the 90s.
Spin by Williams. So in postseason play, they can go up against any kind of team and
that's
avoid the potential upset, right?
That's really important.
Bo, no look dish about it.
Just sets the table so beautifully. The head Mater D here in Knoxville.
Lead is 19, a rebound claimed by Williams. What could have been the always omnipresent trap game does not appear to be that tonight for the nation's top-ranked program.
Shot selection, great point guard play.
All kinds of experience as that pass sails out of bounds from Jordan Bone.
I think Bone knew we were in the timeout zone. You never want to throw the ball away, though, when you're standing right in front of your own head coach.
Two-sport star Andrea Williams excelled at both volleyball and basketball for the Aggies. Williams was the first Aggie to letter in both volleyball and basketball and competed in the Sweet 16 in both sports. In 2016, Williams became the first Black woman to lead a Division I conference as the Big Sky Commissioner. SEC Network honors Williams for her achievements in the NCAA and Texas A&M.
Next time your crew gets together, try Zaxby's Boneless Wings Meal with Caribbean Jerk Sauce. Customize your flavor with any of our 9 delicious sauces or try our new Caribbean Jerk Sauce featuring fruity mango, spicy habanero, and jerk spices. Zaxby's.
How do these other OTC medicines compare to Zysol? Well, looky here. Zysol works faster than Claritin and lasts up to 6 times longer than Benadryl. So for the latest and powerful relief that's just as effective at hour 24 as at hour 1, be wise all. Take Zysol.
Accidents can happen anytime. That's why Geico's here 24 hours a day, every day. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
68-49, #1 Tennessee out in front of South Carolina here at home. And a packed house at TBA. Great to have you with us, Mark Wise, Roy Philpott. Hoop Junkies unite. The Hoop Junkie Jet back in action next week.
We have a surprise for you.
It is a little bit different because they have split the A-team apart for the first time this year. And Mark Wise parachuting out of the Hoop Junkie Jet.
I'll be going to Texas A&M while you will be going
to Athens, Georgia for the Bulldogs and Mississippi State. It's going to be a lot of fun.
2 road teams that have important resume builders, but take a look at this.
Notable breakups in the last 50 years. Well done, Tom McNeely, Susan Pierce. We appreciate you guys. And it is notable next week. It's going to feel different, right?
It will feel different, but we're sharing this one thing in common. Both of those road teams next week, those are big games when you're, Mississippi State is easily in the tournament.
Right.
But Alabama's living on the bubble. And so you cannot afford any hiccups down the stretch.
No doubt about it. Rick Barnes, his team probably can. We'll see what happens in Lexington Saturday.
Did you and I just get compared to the Beatles?
I'm speechless. I don't know where you want me to go. I was stunned by that. I was totally stunned. Silva inside, fouled by Schofield from behind.
I mean, I feel like, you know, Martin and Lewis. Or
did that say the Soviet Union on there? Did the breakups?
The Brexit?
We've seen everything this season. It's been a heck of a year in the SEC. Right now, the conference expected to have 7 teams in the field of 68 with Florida on the proverbial bubble. You mentioned Bama. I would agree with that assessment. One more coming for Silva. I did see Soviet Union.
Yes,
thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, and then next week we're done. But
these are monumental events.
We're back next week. The week after that, I mean.
2 weeks. Yes, we're back together.
Good. 68-51. You agree? Bama's on the bubble. Florida right now is on the bubble.
Yeah, they're on the wrong side of the bubble though. They need to get some quadrant 1 wins. Here's the good news: if you're a Gator fan, they have some opportunities, including 2 against LSU.
Schofield inside. Gators will be in Alabama on Saturday as Silva launches and connects. Top of the key, 70-54.
Silva, 38% from bonus land on the year, is the reason why I think he will get a look at the next level.
Drafted or free agent?
Free agent, probably.
One of the things Frank Martin told us really was working with his lateral movement, trying to enhance his draftability. It speaks to defense, but overall athleticism. He's told us several times he's gotten a lot better as Gravett connects with a triple, and Hassani Gravett has 14 to lead us back to 13.
How much confidence is Gravett playing with? Carolina has gone to this zone. Rick Barnes not happy at all, takes the timeout.
So a 6-0 run by Carolina. Gamecocks back in it. Halfway through our second half here in Knoxville.
That's what South Carolina basketball is all about.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Georgia versus number 11 South Carolina at 7, presented by Regions Bank. At 9, Missouri versus number 5 Mississippi State, Thursday on the SEC Network.
Congratulations, you're a writer. But wait, you have to actually publish your book. Discover Publishers will help you find the right publisher to get your book in bookstores. It's completely free.
Go to freeauthorinfo.com or call us at 800-251-4119.
When you rent a car on Turo, you're renting from a real person. No shuttle rides, no waiting in line, and no wandering a car lot. This is better than your typical car rental. This is Turo. Download the app today.
Now you can buy faster and accelerate your deal on AutoTrader by putting car buying in the palm of your hand. Start your paperwork online. Choose from actual financing options and receive a real Kelley Blue Book trade-in offer to get a no-surprise monthly payment based on your information. Save time at the dealership when you start your deal online. AutoTrader. Buy faster.
Come on! Gotta get stopped. Come on! What are you guys doing? Made 9 threes. You think we ought to guard the three-point line? We gotta guard it. You keep giving up too much space. Right here, we gotta be as sharp mentally as any point in time in the game, right now. From right now down to the next timeout, we gotta control this game.
During the course of a game, Roy, coaches give different messages to your team. Some of them are on the court. In other words, guard the arc better. Some of them are effort or emotional. You know, we need to be sharper mentally right now. So I think you're seeing a little bit of everything from Rick Barnes tonight being wired.
4 straight weeks for Rick Barnes' team, ranked number 1 in the AP poll. And you and I were kind of wondering last weekend, with Duke's win at Virginia in the season sweep, would the Blue Devils leapfrog Tennessee? And I think the right call was made given the overall body of work. But we'll see if that number 1 ranking sticks based off what happens in Lexington. South Carolina trying to get back in it. Bowden will try to slam the door shut with another 3 ball. Bowden has 13. The lead is back to 16. What does Carolina have to do from this point?
I think their goal right now is get it to 10 at the 5-minute mark.
Hasse from downtown.
He's become a reliable shooter from the arc, 40%.
That's your guy. You've been talking about him all year.
Yeah, he's the unsung hero guy for Carolina. This is a bad matchup game for him because of the skill sets of Williams and Schofield. I said earlier in the year, he's a what do you need guy. You need a three, you need a defensive play, you need maybe a rebound.
Full court baseball pass.
Full court baseball pass.
Campbell off and running. Hasse. And double rejection, but contact from behind by Bowden. They're going to credit Williams with a foul, excuse me.
Or maybe just the extra effort. Felipe Hasse running the floor. We mentioned this from the Tennessee perspective in the first half. Now from the South Carolina point of view. Big guys, don't give up on plays. Run the floor.
Love that about you. You're always coaching. It never stops. It never gets turned off. A.J. Lawson back on the floor. And a couple of early threes. Simpson has been held in check. Hasse 1 of 2 at the line.
Small lineup on the floor for Tennessee right now. No post player.
And we've seen this lineup used. Admiral Schofield coined the phrase, it was their lineup of death, where they just really find a way to speed teams up. Critical possession now for South Carolina, trailing by 12. Nine to shoot.
It's taking a long time to get organized.
High ball screen, Lawson. Double team. And a couple of opportunities, South Carolina in empty possession. Bone from 15. Yes.
That just is a high level of trust with your point guard, knowing that he can make a play for you.
Lawson on the other end. Well, you wonder if the Gamecocks have one more run, a couple of defensive stops, maybe a couple of threes. They've been hanging around and trailed by as many as 19 tonight. Schofield. Count it. 16 for Admiral.
Big to big. Unselfish.
Fresh 30 seconds. Gravett wants it. So does Silva. And a strong finish at the rack. He's got 12. Check that, 17.
And both teams look a little gassed.
Silva, another double-double, his 7th of the season. Timeout on the floor.
The top team in the land invades Big Blue Nation.
Hold up, let me get up in
Tennessee aims to deliver a statement. But number 5 Kentucky looks to defend rough. It's a top 5 showdown. Tennessee, Kentucky, Saturday 8 on ESPN.
Family Taco Night is a heartburn night you can plan for. But surprise pizza at the office means heartburn you didn't expect. Zantac works when you need it. It relieves or prevents heartburn in as little as 30 minutes and lasts up to 12 hours. Zantac. Eat your way, treat your way.
At Regions Bank, we're here to help you move your life forward. But managing money correctly can be tough, especially for college students. That's why we sometimes bring in some extra help.
Young lady, you're way too smart to hit that order button. $750 on a dress that'll be out of style by next week? And what, you might wear it 2-3 times tops? Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I probably am right.
Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Support your favorite college at Fanatics.com, the largest assortment of officially licensed fan gear from more than 500 colleges. Every conference, every team. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hey, what's up with the bike?
No car insurance. I can't afford that after my accident.
Sounds like you need a quote from the general. you step into my office?
At the General, monthly payments are low with immediate proof of insurance. Get your anonymous online quote and ride with the General.
Yeah. Can we lose the bike now and put on some pants?
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
At the top, we featured Jordan Bone, point guard extraordinaire for Tennessee. Took a hard fall tonight, but has responded in a big-time way. Whether you're talking about Bone as the scorer or Bone as the helper, and his ability to find teammates, uncanny this season. And yeah, he can score when you need him. Jordan Bone, an elite point guard for the #1 team in the country.
As we take a look at today's best performer, brought to you by AT&T, 10, 4, and 5 for the leading dime dropper in the Southeastern Conference. Why not?
This whole team is fun to watch, but I really think he's the guy that stirs the drink.
You started the show with that, watching Tennessee now in person for a third time.
Yeah.
I hate to do this, but I agree with you.
Can we get a tape of this?
You can play that as the ringtone every time I give you a buzz. I think I agree with you. Under 7 to play. South Carolina in desperate need of one more run to truly get back in this. They've been hanging around.
Way too early to think about shot clock milking.
Monte Turner bottled up. Stolen by Gravett. 3-on-3. Sonny Gravett.
A.J. Lawson was on the sideline. Lost court awareness. Rick Barnes not happy with Lamonte Turner. Dribbled into trouble and then compounded it by throwing it away.
The kind of play you can't really have against a team as explosive as Tennessee.
Roy, doesn't it feel like Tennessee's up 20? And they're just kind of hanging around?
Just what they do. Workmanlike effort. They played well. They come at you in waves, as we talked about earlier. Offense, defense, at the line. Physical play, finesse, big shots. I like what you said, too, the shot selection. It helps you avoid the potential trap game. You make better decisions with the basketball. And so far tonight, this game really has never felt like it's been in danger for UT as Williams pours in another deuce. He's got 8.
The offense is varied, but different players can also score in various ways.
So can Gravett. That time tossed up a brick. Approaching 5.5 to go. The lead is 15. Vols have made their last 3 field goals. Mark right at their season average. In fact, just over it. 53% from the floor. One of the best field goal percentage teams in the country. Was out of bounds.
How about the layout by Alexander, though, to keep the play alive? It gets everybody on the Tennessee bench up. Check this out, Roy. You want to make the extra effort play? Watch Alexander give up the body. That's good stuff.
He took a knee in the head in the process, but outstanding hustle. Vols 9 of 18 from 3-point range. South Carolina an impressive 12 of 20. No mathematician, but that's 60% Bowden. And Silva another rebound. That's his 12th.
12 for 20 and you're down 15.
It's amazing. Same 2 teams met 15 days ago in Columbia. This game's got a similar feel, at least in the second half.
Great hands by Williams.
And Bone now with 4 turnovers.
He thought Bowden was going to stay in the corner.
You're kind of a throwback guy. You love the warm-ups, right?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
I know you love those.
Absolutely. Back in the old Ray Mears days, they used to come out with those, and they would have a couple of guys on unicycles.
You were hoping I was going to set you up with that.
Yes. It was fun stuff.
It really was. A lot of great traditions, old and new.
Now, I'm dating myself in the process.
Because I had no idea about that until you pointed it out last week. Kravitz was fouled on the shot from the elbow. You really? Unicycles? That's what they had here?
Yes. Yes.
How many?
Like two guys on unicycles. You know, you would run that old warm-up drill where you throw it to the elbow and guys would scissor off. Well, the guy at the elbow was on a unicycle.
One more for Kravitz upcoming. Don't forget tonight after Ole Miss and Auburn down on the Plains. Starry Noka, Pat Bradley, Coach Jimmy Dykes have all the college basketball scores, highlights, and analysis you could possibly want. Our SEC Now crew ready to go. No one covers the SEC like we do. And, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Jimmy Dykes will know what I'm talking about with those unicycles.
I would think so. Yeah.
And if he doesn't, he's really dating me.
It makes you feel extra old?
Extra old.
Yeah, that's not good. Lead is 14, approaching 4 to play. 5 Tennessee Volunteers now in double figures. And it's pick your poison. It's that kind of night for head coach Rick Barnes. Grant Williams, in fact, only with 8. He does have 7 rebounds. And how about this number, Professor? Grant Williams, 8 points, 7 rebounds. As Schofield connects, 7 assists.
Yeah, the unselfish play that we talked about. You don't average more than 19 assists with just one guy being unselfish.
Campbell has 16.
Just break down defensively by Tennessee. No coverage on the ball screen.
Gamecocks have tied their season high with 13 three-pointers tonight.
Roy, if you're going to throw the ball away, you got to be careful where you might throw it to. Take a look at this pass. Those guys are open, and guess what else? They want to shoot the ball. Give me the rock.
This Valentine's Day at Belk, share the sparkles, share the snuggle, share the ooh la la, share the love with head over heels gifts from Belk.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. And if you got cut rate car insurance, paying for this could feel like getting robbed twice. So get Allstate. And be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Welcome to Pilot. Oh.
Hi, it's pretty bad.
We've got clean restrooms right over there. And showers, too. That's totally just an FYI.
Hey, I need...
Chips, drinks, ice, and hot dogs.
How'd you know that?
Is that pizza? Yeah, we make it fresh throughout the day. Coffee, cold fountain drink. Grab and go case. We've got great things for people on the go, like sandwiches and fruit cups and salads. We've got soups and chili.
This Valentine's Day at Belk, share the sparkles. Save on bonus buys with 70% off Belk Silverworks jewelry. And women's dresses, $49.99. Belk, share the love.
Tennessee shooting a blistering 55%. The Vols lead South Carolina by 13. 3:41 to go. Back in Knoxville, Tennessee. Mark Wise, Roy Philpott, and Alyssa Lang has much more. Alyssa.
Yeah, guys, at the beginning of this game broadcast, I did a hit, and I said this might be a trap game for Tennessee. They might get lulled to sleep by South Carolina with Kentucky on the horizon, and I got some grief on social media for saying that. Tennessee doing what they've done week in and week out for the last several months, taking care of teams. And believe it or not, they may have gotten into a bit of a winning slump, according to the coaching staff and Grant Williams. They said after a while, winning just wasn't really fun anymore. They came out every week, and they just absolutely dominated opponents. They said they had to figure out a way to put the fun back in basketball. Grant Williams said that was by embracing the different personalities on the team. They've got jokesters. They've got guys who are ready to bring the energy. They finally came together and remembered kind of that brotherhood that they have on that Tennessee Volunteers team, and they said, hey, now they're having fun again.
Alyssa, I got to tell you, I've never been a part of a team that won too much.
A winning slump is something I want to be a part of. Does that make sense? Lawson hammered hard from behind by Schofield. And a nice show of sportsmanship. Alyssa, you were talking about social media there a second ago. Frank Martin was talking to you about social media earlier today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And Frank Martin's on Twitter. If you follow him, he interacts with some fans sometimes. But he says he's really just on social media because he feels like he owes it to his players and recruits. I mean, they're all on it, so he should at least understand how it works, right? He said when he was back at K-State, he kind of did get involved with the social media noise a little bit when they started winning games. And then he said as soon as he started retweeting things that were good about his team, they started losing. So he immediately got off of the Twitter train, and now he says he only retweets things that are maybe really special.
Don't you think everybody should have an Uncle Frank?
There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm glad you said that because he's one of the few people on the planet Earth. Every time I sit down and have a conversation with, he makes me feel better about what's happening in my life, in his life, and with his basketball program. You saw the quote there about Tennessee. They're old, and they beat people up, and they're going to do that the rest of this season like we're seeing tonight.
And he has such a great admiration for Rick Barnes.
He does, yeah. Two developed a relationship back in the Big 12 when he was at Kansas State. Barnes was at Texas. Hustled by Bowden in a fresh 30.
Yes, the only downside of Bones' game, really, he's a very inconsistent three-point shooter.
Blocked inside by Lawson, the putback by Schofield. He just does a little bit of everything, Mark.
How about a guy 240 pounds who has this kind of quick twitch? He gets his first shot blocked, but look how quick he elevates off the glass for the second opportunity.
And with that last rebound, Schofield, another double-double. 21 points, 10 rebounds tonight for the Admiral. Hasse back to work off the back iron, so Tennessee will be in Lexington this weekend. 1 versus 5. It's the Sonic Blockbuster. A lot at stake in the SEC, obviously,
right.
The two programs at the top of the standings. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think there's some definitive keys to the game when you take a look at the matchup, and it starts at the point guard play in terms of Bone and Hagans. And when you have this kind of matchup between two teams in the top 5, you're going to have matchups galore, really, that are, as an old coach, fun to watch, whether you're talking about Williams going against P.J. Washington inside, or whether you're talking about the wing players of Kentucky and Hero and Johnson going against this triumvirate from Tennessee. So there's all kinds of fun things to watch for in this game.
Campbell comes up short, approaching a minute and a half to play, and Tennessee is going to win its 19th game in a row tonight. You heard what Coach Cal said about P.J. Washington. He said right now he's the best player in the country. He's certainly making his threes, and Kentucky's coming together like Kentucky normally does.
I'm going to buy that he's one of the best players in the country.
No doubt.
But the best player in the country is playing in Durham.
Williams grabs the rebound. And he's done a little bit of everything himself tonight. His 8th board, 7 dimes, 8 points for Grant Williams. If I ask you to give me a prediction, you ready to go there yet?
Man, that's going to be awfully hard. You know, Kentucky coming off the heartbreaking loss last night will regroup, obviously. I do think it will be a one-possession game with 1 minute to go.
I would
That's
buy
not
that.
necessarily going out on a limb. I get it.
3 ball by Campbell. That's a new season high for Trey Campbell. He's got 19 tonight. And South Carolina really didn't play that bad this evening. 13 threes, Impressive from distance, competitive, but not enough gas in the tank to topple the top-ranked team.
Just too much offense from Tennessee, too much balance.
Five on the shot clock. Crowd on its feet. Here, Thompson bowling. One more rebound for Silva, and that's going to do it. Carolina competes, but comes up short on the road at Tennessee. The final score, 85-73, and two colleagues exchanging pleasantries midcourt. Rick Barnes, Frank Martin. It's been a lot of fun, and Tennessee now 11-0 in Southeastern Conference play for the first time ever.
And it's not that they're beating people, it's how they're beating people. They're beating people up, as Frank Martin was quoted as saying.
Admiral Schofield with 21 and 10. An impressive performance as Tennessee prevails once again. That wraps it up for our coverage here in Knoxville. Send you to the studio. Dari, Pat Bradley, Coach Dykes.